I think they'd been talking to a lot of wealthy people, trying to get them more enthusiastic about philanthropy, and they felt they'd got enough momentum out there that some big public statement like this was going to work. I think they've been thinking about it for a few years. How do they use their status as the leading philanthrocapitalists to actually create more of a movement, although they are saying they're not going to be too prescriptive in what people do, but they felt now was a moment where there are a lot of people out there thinking about making a commitment, and that they should bring them all together. Well, I think the early response to the campaign has been good amongst the wealthy. I think there are going to be a lot more people who are signing up to it over the next few months in America, and I think also there will be a reasonable response outside America as others come forward. In terms of the public response, I think this has created a fair amount of buzz around the issue of giving, and there's also been this attempt to kind of encourage people with not quite so much money to give away to also make pledges in their lives through this 1% pledge idea that's out there. Well, I do think there is a test that for this to be worthwhile, there has to be an increase in philanthropy over what there would have been. And I believe there will be, because I do think, when you're that rich, you are, particularly conscious, I think, of being judged by your peers on, all sorts of intangible factors. And I think one of those factors is, are you doing your bit for society now? And I think that this pledge, by getting people to have to make public statements, and thereby inviting questions about, well, how actually are you going to fulfill this pledge, is going to put the spotlight on people and encourage them to do more and to be better at what they're doing. Well, I think it's certainly philanthrocapitalism in the sense that this is a movement. It's about getting the successful business people of this generation to actually step up to the plate. And I think what will happen, because Gates himself is a philanthrocapitalist in terms of trying to be systematic and businesslike in his giving, I think he will be the role model, and that other people who sign the pledge will be subjected to scrutiny, and people will say, well, how are you going about using this money effectively? Are you just writing a check, or are you actually putting some thought into it? And so, I do think this is going to lead to a much more effective and thoughtful philanthropy, which is what we mean by philanthrocapitalism. Well, I think there's this old chestnut that the Wall Street Journal in particular keeps bringing out, which is that, wouldn't these people like Gates and Buffett be better off spending their time making more money rather than giving it away? My view is that those two aren't opposites, that, that actually someone like Gates feels that he's done his bit on running Microsoft, that it's time for someone else to take over, and that he wants to put his energies into other things. I think it's a good thing that some of our most skilled people are business people are putting their brains to work to solve some of the really difficult problems that that philanthropy is engaged with. So, I think that one shouldn't say that making money is wrong. I think that's where this critique comes from. I think making money in the modern economy often, is about making everybody better off. If you're Google, you've improved the lifestyle of everyone, and you've made your founders fantastically wealthy. No one's been exploited in that process in the way that maybe sometimes people got rich in the past, or in some poorly run countries people have got rich by stealing assets from the public. Today's wealthy are making money in ways that make us better off, but they can also put their money to work in ways that make us all live in a better society. Well, I think it will be judged by whether a large number of billionaires actually do step up to the plate, make this commitment, that they follow through on the commitment, that they do indeed give away at least half of their fortunes, and that they give that money away in a way that really does change the game in terms of how society solves the problems that we face. If they're just building large mausoleums to themselves, then I don't think that will be a great success. But if they are really thoughtfully engaged in solving some of these huge crises that we face, then I think it will be judged a great initiative.